Every single day, you're putting in reps. Every day. Everybody you know is putting in reps. They're grinding. They're doing the work. They're showing up and putting in effort. Big question is, towards what, though? What are we putting our effort towards? Because every choice we make, every decision, every one that becomes a split test, every time we just fall into old habits, we are putting in reps towards something. The question is that towards the life you want? Is that towards everything you desire in life? Is that towards being the man you want to be? Or is it towards continuing as you are, staying stuck, towards hating your life, towards consolidating this life and path that you're on that you ain't a fucking fan of? Because you're putting in work one way or the other. If you're existing, and I will use that term intentionally, because usually it is existing, you're putting in reps towards something. You are continuing to move forward towards, well, something in your life. The question is just what? You know, every time you eat out, every time you eat the junk food, every time you eat the food that you know just isn't good for you. You have the wine, the whiskey, the beer, whatever the fuck it is. You're putting in reps towards, well, continuing a life path that you aren't happy with, that you aren't satisfied with, towards staying stuck as the man that you don't want to be. You are putting in effort. But the question is it towards anything you want? The problem with so much of the choices that we make, the decisions that we make, is that we think that to be a different man requires something else. Well, you're already making decisions. You're already making choices. You're just making different ones, better ones that improve your life, ones that push you towards being the man that you want to be, towards the life that you want to live, towards, well, everything you want. So much of our life just comes down to those decisions. You have the same capacity. You have, within reason, the same opportunity. If you're watching this on a phone or a laptop or whatever, you have the capacity and the opportunity to make better choices. They might not be optimal. They might not be built to perfection. But you have the opportunity to, well, do the things you want to do, to become a better man. It just comes down to whether you're willing to make those choices. And this is a part that I think a lot of people do really struggle with. I think it's a part that people miss on it. Well, discipline is a choice. It's not something we're naturally gifted with. It's not an inherent blessing. It's not something that you got from your parents. It's a choice. It is a choice made daily. The concept I really liked with this one is that every morning you wake up, you have to go out and re-earn everything that you have. It's not just there. It's not just waiting for you. You have to go out and earn it. And that happens through making the choice of discipline. It happens through choosing future you over a quick hit of dopamine, over this present moment you getting a bing in the head, bit of chemical release in your brain. It's about making the right choices long term. And like I've said many times, this isn't easy. This isn't an easy process. It's not meant to be fucking easy, but it's meant to be worthwhile. The choices that we make matter. I was having a discussion with a guy who was coming on to demanding greatness, and he was like, yeah, but I'm not built like you. And I was like, I'm not built like me. I fucking chose this. There's no one in my family who's built like me. I'm constantly questioning and counseling my parents because they're overweight. They're letting themselves go. And I'm worried that I'm going to watch my father die in the next couple of years because he refuses to make better choices. I wasn't blessed this way. I wasn't gifted something beyond these things. My genetics aren't great. I just made fucking decisions. I'm working with what I've got, but I had to build that discipline. I've had people ask me who know my family, and they're like, who's the milkman? You know, what did he look like? Because I am nothing like my family. Personality, drivenness, physique, all of that. That didn't come from my family. That came from the choices I made. And I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that my physique is perfect. It's not. And I've got a long way to go, but I'm a hell of a lot further than I was when I first started this process. I'm a hell of a lot further down the line than anyone in my family. These are choices that I made. These are decisions that I made. As I said, yeah, this guy's not built like me. But I'm not built like me. I made those choices. And now he can make those choices too, to be built the way he wants to. I can't think of a better analogy for it. That, well, just become the man that you want to be. You build it. You don't wake up one day and you just are. You make choice after choice after choice after choice. You keep making these decisions to become that man. To become the man you want to be. You build it. Like building a fucking house. Each brick is a decision that you chose to be a better man. Each choice that you chose to sacrifice the now for the future. Each choice where you chose discipline over ease. That built you into the man that you want to be. Sure as shit ain't going to be easy, but it's going to be worthwhile. There are going to be days where you don't want to do that. There are going to be days where you don't want to borrow it. There are going to be days where it is hard as shit. Today is one of those days for me. Like, I am fucking cooked. I don't know what it is, but I was hit just with a wave. I finished off my gym sessions, finished with my clients, and well, not even finished. I got halfway through, and I was like, you need to pull your shit together. You are fading fast, and these people have paid for your attention and energy and expertise, and you need to fucking deliver it. So I had to pull my shit together, and that's what I did. But by no stretch of the imagination was that easy. By no stretch of the imagination is that what I want to do. I didn't want to be on here talking to you right now. Like, if I'm being fucking honest, I didn't. I wanted to chuck on my headphones, I wanted to listen to some music, maybe a podcast, and, just drive home. But I made a commitment. I made a plan. I said that I would do this every single fucking day. And I haven't missed. Because I don't miss. The only difference between me and you is that I just keep showing up. I just keep doing the work. I just keep making it happen. That my feelings don't get to dictate what transpires. My plan does. And my plan is to do the work. And so until the work gets done, there is work to do. And it is incredibly simple. Incredibly fucking simple. That's it. That's the whole thing. There's work to be done, you do the work. End of story. Today I didn't want a bar of it. I didn't. I didn't want to go for my walk. And I did anyway. My hips and my lower back and all of that shit fucking hurt today. Yeah, it was very sore. That work got done because it needed to get done. This isn't about my feelings. This isn't about what I'd like to do. This is about what I'd said I'd do. And as I said, I'm trying to raise the standards in the other areas because this standard for my health and fitness has been so heavily ingrained that I don't question it anymore. It just gets fucking done. Just show up and I do the work. And I do the work. And I do the work. And it gets done every single day. Because, well, I decided I didn't want to be like my family. I didn't want to be like those who are questioning all those things. I didn't want to be that guy. I wanted to be the best version for my wife and my kids. you know, I had two fucking wake-up calls, and that's how fucking stubborn I am when it comes to this shit. And it took me twice to actually pull my head out of my ass to do the work that was required. Twice. First one was, actually, that's a lie, 3 fucking times to actually get it together and follow through. First time was my wife was 6 months pregnant. Right? Our first child, our beautiful daughter. My wife is heavily pregnant, and it's during COVID, and I noticed that my heart rate's a bit off. I noticed that there's something just not quite right with my heart. Go to a cardiologist, go check that out. He's like, wear this Holter monitor. You're right, there is something wrong there, but you only noticed it because, well, like, you're someone who's in tune with your body. And look, I was overweight at this point. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't in the best shape. I was still in better shape than a lot of people, and that's how I fucking justified it. It's how I made up excuses about all of it. Because I still worked out regularly, but I just ate like a fucking asshole. And so we went down that line, and I put on the Holter monitor, and one Sunday morning I wake up and I get a phone call from my cardiologist, and he's like, you need to go to the hospital right this second. Right this fucking moment. Like, I don't care what you're doing, drop everything, and if you cannot drive, don't drive. Oh, okay. Shit's about to hit the fan. So he raced me off to the hospital. He's like, I've called ahead. They're going to immediately transfer you to the best cardiologist wing in New South Wales. Oh, okay. Right. So that happens. And we're in peak COVID. So my wife's not allowed to come see me. She's not allowed to go anywhere near me. And for 5 days, I am in hospital by myself, trying to work out what's going on with my heart. And that was scary as shit. I was like, we're about to bring our daughter into this world, and I'm now worried if I'm going to make it. I'm now worried if I'm going to be around to see this, well, I didn't know it then, but this perfect little child grow up. I'm now shitting bricks. And, you know, things escalate because COVID was fucking wild and insanity. And so they go to do a test on me where they stopped my heart. You know, they knocked me out, and they stopped my heart, and they see what happens. I have to sign a waiver because there is a reasonable chance that I could fucking die during this. And it was 1 in 500 from memory, because I remember going, I'd probably bet on those odds. Those odds are high enough that I'd probably take that bet. That I could fucking die. And thankfully I didn't. But they didn't have an anesthesiologist, can't say that word properly, but anesthetist on hand. So they took a guess at how much to give me. So I was supposed to wake up 1 to 2 hours after this. And I told my wife that, and 48 hours later, I fucking wake up. So, as you can imagine, she's pregnant, and she's shitting bricks. She's like, oh my god, he's died. Something horrendous has happened. No, I was just fucking out cold for 48 hours. Anyway, long story. But we get to the end of it, and what it turns out is that I have an irregular heartbeat. Sometimes my heart will just skip a beat, and then it'll do a double beat, and it'll catch up. So this was the first warning sign from the universe that maybe you need to make some better choices. You need to make some different life choices. And I was like, see, it's just me. It's all good. I don't need to stress about it. Wrong, motherfucker. Wrong. When the universe knocks, you need to start fucking listening. When it gives you warning signs like this, listen up. Open up those ear holes and start fucking listening. Because I didn't. I was like, it's whatever. So we fast forward a year and a little bit. It's my daughter's first birthday. And a month after that, I'm going to turn 30. And I looked at that perfect little angel. And I was like, I am disgusted with myself. I am disgusted with the man that I have let myself become. I was fat. I was out of shape. I had every excuse under the sun. And I was the height of hypocrisy. I was a personal trainer. I owned a gym. I told people how to eat and exercise for a living. And I was just getting fatter and lazier every single day. And I would put up excuses as to why I couldn't do this shit. And that was the moment where I was like, for her, for that little angel, I will figure this the fuck out. And I did. I fucking nailed it. It was the first iteration of greatness. And in 126 days, I lost 33 kilos. I was stoked. I went into the best shape of my fucking life. I was impressed with myself. It was incredible. And yet, life happened. As life does happen. You know, life caught up with me. And then life caught up with me some more, and I got comfortable, and I got, took my foot off the gas. And then I had someone working for me in the gym, and then suddenly I'm back in the gym full time, and we're moving house, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, shit, I'm back to where I was. Hell, I might be worse than I was. How did I let this happen again? And during this time, we went through a whole series of shit with my son. My son was born 8 weeks early. He was fucking tiny. Like, he was 1.8 kilos. The kid could have probably fitted in my hand. It was insane. And it took us 6 months. And look, it was probably one of the most traumatic experiences of our entire life. But it took us over 6 months to get that kid home from hospital due to ineptitude of fucking doctors and things like that. But that is a story for another day. But eventually, we got him home. And again, I had to have that look the man in the mirror moment. And I'm like, what are you fucking doing with your life? What kind of standard are you setting for your son? Your son has fought tooth and nail to get here. He went through hell and back. And now you're going to show up as that lame shit of a father? You're going to show up as that excuse of a man? No. And I had to step the fuck up to be who my son needed. I needed to. It took me, I'm embarrassed to say this, probably another 6 months or so to actually pull the trigger and follow through. I had like 5 false starts because I got comfortable and it was hard and I was used to taking it easy and I had all the excuses. I had 2 kids. I was working 40 hours on the floor. Life was busy. I was stressed. Like I had all this. Cool fucking story, bro. Cool fucking story. My children don't care about my excuses. My wife doesn't care about my excuses. The people who matter in my life don't care about my excuses. They're fucking excuses. They might be legitimate reasons, but they are still fucking excuses because I was not being the man that I was meant to be. I was not stepping up and doing what was required. So I had to get better. I had to have that fucking wake-up call that I was failing my son, my daughter, my wife, those I trained, those who count on me, you. I knew I was meant for more. And that day that I shared that first photo of myself was so difficult. It was so hard. I hated it that I had to put out there that, hey, this is me. This is who I am. This disgusting fat sack of shit who has failed, who's kept breaking his word, who couldn't follow through, who is the height of hypocrisy. I was putting in reps, a shit ton of reps, towards being a man that I hated, that I was disgusted with, that I assumed, well, they didn't know, but I knew that my kids would be ashamed of. I was that guy. And it took a fuck ton to actually break through. And that first month was awful. I hated every minute of it. And then it got a little bit easier, and then it got a little bit easier, and then it got a little bit easier. But I had to keep making the choices of discipline. I had to keep making the choices to show the fuck up and do what was required. No, it was not easy. No, it was not fun. By no stretch of the imagination did I enjoy any of that shit. But it was required. And the universe, I firmly believe, will keep knocking until you wake the fuck up and actually listen. It'll keep sending you ever increasing warning signs that you are not living as the man that you know you should be. Until it knocks you flat on your ass, until you are willing to actually do what is required to become the man that you know you should be. So don't let it knock you on your ass. Don't wait until it has to knock you the fuck out to be like, hey, you should actually do this shit. Hey, you should actually become the man that you know you should be. Don't keep procrastinating on it. Don't be the dumbass that I was and keep kicking it down the line. Step the fuck up. Do the work. Do what is required. And keep choosing discipline. Because it is a choice. It is a choice that you make. You're putting in the reps anyway. You might as well start putting in reps towards being the man that you want to be. So if you're ready to do that, if you're ready to be the man that you know you should be, click the link in my bio. Let's get you into demanding greatness, because you need to start demanding greatness of yourself. And let's see who you can become when you take that first step, when you start taking this seriously. I can't wait to see you on the other side of that. So click that link and let's make it a fucking reality. Until then,